Let us pray. Father, I want to thank you for another time in your presence. Thank you for your interest in our growth and stability. Thank you for helping us to know you more and more by the day. Thank you for the revelation that we're getting through your words. Lord, we're here again to learn from you. We are that you teach us a word, both the teacher and the teachee. The word will flow through me, and that everyone that will hear me will have perfect understanding of your way. And that as a word is coming for, will come for power and authority to heal, to set free, and to deliver. Thank you, blessed Father. In Jesus' mighty name that we have prayed. Amen. You're welcome to today's teaching. My name is Dayo-Ojo. Today we'll be looking at the God that takes pleasure in diversity. The God that takes pleasure in diversity. Let's go quickly to Genesis chapter 1, 11 and 12. Genesis 1, 11 and 12. And God said, let the earth bring forth grass, the herb yielding seed, and the fruit tree yielding fruit after its kind, and whose seed is in itself upon the earth, and it was so. And the earth brought forth grass, and herb yielding seed after its kind, and the tree yielding fruit, whose seed was in itself after its kind. And God saw that it was good. God saw what he did, what he created, that it was good. What did he create? He created vegetation, he created crops, he created plants. And he said it should bring forth after their kinds. After their kind, meaning that they are numerous, not just one kind of thing. For instance, he created beans. God created beans, he created yam, he created everything, almond, all of that, and so many things. Or let's say nuts, he created nuts, and so many other things. Now, besides the fact that God created variety of things, he also went further to make variety out of everything he has created. Every other one to have variety too. Now, like beans, you have the yellow beans, you have the brown, you have the brown beans, you have the white beans, you have the black beans. You have some in Africa, I don't even know what they call them. Like in my language, they will say otili. They are still beans too. And so many other ones. Now, in yam, you have the yellow yam, you have the white yam, you have cocoa yam. If I in my place, there's one they call esuru. I don't know what they call it in English. It's yam too. So all kinds of yam again, all kinds of beans again, all kinds of nuts. You have almond nut, you have granite, you have peanut. Almond nut, granite, or peanut, as the case maybe. You have cashew nuts. You have so many others that you have as nuts. So God did not only make variety of things, he also made variety of every kind. So he said he should bring forth after their kind. What does it teach us? It means that God is a God of variety. Not only did he make these, then he made different kinds of, even each and every one of them. So what made beans is his identity. So if you identify this one in his uniqueness to be called beans, then you have varieties under the identity again. That identity is what they call kind. Then he had the varieties under them again. So two types of things now. You have the identity that makes it beans, which is unique to itself. That once you see, say this is beans, then other beans again, you have different kinds, just like every other one. Now, let's go further. Let's go to organism now. When God created organism too, he decided that they should have life in them. So he created different kinds of lives. We have the celestial life, like they are the angels for us. We have the terrestrial, the one of human beings and animals that walk on the surface of the earth. You have the aquatic, the one that are in water. You have the area that the birds and everything. So it created different kinds of lives. Terrestrial, okay, that's not because of time. Let's not. So different kinds of lives that God created again. Let's see that in the book of John 5:26. For as the Father had life in himself, that is, God himself has life in himself. God has life in himself. He has given the Son to have life in himself. So the Son, Jesus, now too has life in himself. So every living organism or creature has life in itself. Animal has in itself, woman has in themselves, everything has in itself life. So God created life. Now, he put that life in a casing. For instance, let's say this is life. Let's represent this with life. God put this life in a case. This is life. The animal life, the human life, the aquatic, the celestial, everything. He put in a case and called this one the heart. You call it the heart. For instance, in a car, when you make a car, you have the engine. You have the engine. Let's say this is the engine of the car. This engine is put inside another thing. They call it the block. Engine block. The totality of this is called the engine. But in this engine is a house called the engine block and the engine itself. The same way the heart. We have the heart which houses the life that thing possesses. And when I say the heart, let me make it very clear, because I was talking to somebody recently and the person didn't understand me when I said heart. Now, a man is made up of body, the soul, and the spirit. This one has his own heart, which is the one we know, the human heart that beats and all of that pumps oxygen in the body to sustain the body. That's, the heart is what gives that in life. He said the life of a man is in the blood. So your blood is where your life is. And so inside that blood, what houses that blood is the heart. He said the life of a man is in the blood. What houses that blood is called the heart. The same way too, the soul has a heart. For those who have been listening to us, the soul is the real man, the inner man. It's the real person in this setup. This is just like a casing. Now, the soul has a heart. This is where the one I'm talking about now, that this is where your real being is. The life of a man, for instance, is there. The life of the animal is there. The life of the fish is there, all of that. This one has heart too. I know so many of people, they believe that there's something called communion. I said that it's not in the Bible. I need somebody to show me where they see that the spirit has communion. No, the spirit has the heart. This heart now is where God lives. The life of God lives. So anywhere you have life, you have heart there, housing that life. So where the life of God lives in the spirit is called the heart. For those who are born again. For those who are not born again, this heart will be empty, waiting for salvation. For those who are born again, the life lives in the heart. So this is the heart that I'm talking about now. The heart of the spirit, which is the heart of man that makes man man. That's what we're looking at. So everything God created different kinds of lives. Like I said, the animal life, the fish life, the aquatic, the human life, everything. He will put it in a casing and call that casing the heart. So when God is talking about the heart now and life, they can be used interchangeably. He can talk about the heart and it's referring to the life inside. Just like you can talk about the engine and you're referring actually to the engine inside the casing. So it will be correct to say the engine, even though this is casing. Let's give biblical this thing to that. Daniel chapter 7. Daniel chapter 7. We're going to read from 1 to 4. In the first year of Belshazzar, king of Babylon, Daniel had a dream and visions of his head upon his bed. Then he wrote the dream and told the sum of the matters. Daniel spake and said, I saw in my vision by night, and behold, the four wings of the heaven strove upon the great sea. And four great beasts came up from the sea, divers one from another. And the first was like a lion, and had eagle's wings. I beard till the wings thereof were plucked, and it was lifted upon the earth, and made to stand upon the feet of it as a man. He said it was made to stand upon the feet as a man, and the man's heart was given to it. So because he has to be as a man, then the heart of man must be given to it. So for it to be called a man, the heart of man had to be given to it. So there's heart for it to be called a man. I've just read it. Let's say again, Daniel chapter 4. We're going to read verse 16. We have seen that there is a heart of man. There's a heart called the heart of man. The Daniel chapter 4, 16. Let his heart be changed from man's. You have seen? So man has a heart that makes him man. And let a beast's heart be given to him. And let 7 times pass upon. So you have seen that again. There's a heart of the beast. There's a heart of the man. It said, let the heart of man be taken, let the heart of beast given to him. The first one we read said, and it was made man and given the heart of man. So there's a heart of man, there's a heart of beast, there's a heart of every other thing that has life in it. And I've told you that life, that heart houses the life. So if you hear heart, you hear life, you can use it interchangeably in the Bible. Now, inside this life is the nature. Inside the life is the nature. This is life. Inside this life is what I call nature. Nature is what determines the operation of that life, how it behaves, what it does, what is expected of it. So it's just like computer. When they make computer, they will code this something they call the central processing unit, CPU. In that CPU, they will code the processor. When they code it, it will determine how that thing functions. So the code they put there is what will determine how the thing functions. The same way, when God created life, He coded the lives, if you can put it that way. Code are like instructions you have written to that thing on how to behave. For instance, when God created man, He coded the life, inside this life is His nature. He coded it on how man should behave. That we should be bipedal, walking on 2 legs. We should sleep at night. It will be written here. That we should marry. We should have affection for another person, like woman. It will be written in here. That we should be what again? We should love, have affection, to be passion for something. Everything that makes man will be written here. It will be different from the one of animal. It will be written in animals own too. So the instructions written here determines how you behave. That's what they call nature. The combination of the instructions is what we now call nature. For instance, you should be able to close his eyes. You should be able to, when he closes his eyes, you see. All those instructions will be programmed here inside the life. So you have the nature inside the life. You have the heart that covers the whole thing. Now let's read biblical passage to support all of that. We're driving somewhere. Okay, let me just continue before I let you know why we're doing all of this. Romans chapter 2, verse 14 and 15. For when the Gentiles, which have not the law, that is, they have nothing written out for them, but do by nature the things contained in the law. You know, the laws are the things that we have written out. On that, for instance, do not steal, do not do this, do not covet, do not bear false witness. Those are the laws that were written out for the people of Israel. The Bible says the Gentiles now, they don't have anything written out for them. It said, but by nature, do things contained in the law, meaning that it says, these having not the law are lost unto themselves. Let's go further. By nature now, by nature. It said, we show the work of the law written in their hearts. You see what I read earlier? That is, something was written in their hearts that they call by nature now that makes them to behave that way. Their consciences also bearing them witness, and they are taught why accusing or also excusing one another. So in the heart is a nature, like I've said. That you have a heart, you have a life. Inside that life is the nature. That nature determines how you behave. So of the people of Israel, they wrote out something for them, how to behave. He said, but for those of us who were Gentiles that time, it was already written in our codes, instructions, or what we should do. It was written in our heart not to kill ourselves. That human being should not kill another human being. Man should sleep with woman. But you realize that God killed the people of Sodom and Gomorrah. He destroyed Sodom and Gomorrah, right? They went to get what was written in their hearts. He destroyed those 7 nations and gave it to people of Israel. Why? Because they were sacrificing their children to idols, which is again what was written in their heart. So your heart now, or your nature, which is resident in your heart, is what determines how you behave. I'm just giving biblical example to that. You recall in Proverbs 23:7, the Bible says, guide your heart with all diligence, because out of it is the issue of life. It's the issue of life. And I told you your nature is in your life. Then you recall Proverbs 23:7. Proverbs 23:7 says, as a man thinketh in his heart, that's how he is. So it's all about your heart. Now, your nature now is what we now call your image. Your nature is what they call your image. For example, when they say man was created in the image and likeness of God, it's talking about the nature. So anywhere you now see nature, it means image. This image, your nature identifies you. Whether you say your life or your nature or your heart, we're still saying the same thing. Like I said, this one is just the real life. The nature is the one inside that contains the instruction, while the heart is well. So either you use life or nature or heart, you're still saying the same thing in a way. So this determines who you are. That's your identity. It will determine that you are going to be human, or you are going to be animal, or you are going to be bird. If the heart that is given to you is human heart, you are going to be human being. If the heart that is given to you is that of animal, you are going to be an animal, beast, which you are going to see later. If you are given that of an angel, you are going to be an angel. So your heart or your nature or your life determines who you are, your identity, which is your image. I think that's clear. We're getting somewhere. Now, okay, let's do Romans 8:28 to 29. Or do we need to read that? Okay, I think it's self-explanatory, so we might not need to go into that. Let's just go straight into resources. Now, let's take a man, for instance, now, that you have created a man. Let's say this is a man, this is his heart. Like I said earlier, his life is right inside his heart. This is his heart. His life is right inside his heart. And you have the nature now, the instructions that are written inside the life. So this is man now. Now let's assume this man is he wants to go to school. This life. I told you that this is what determines how you behave. Your decision, your passion, your likes, your dislikes, your inclinations, everything is what is written here. Where you should sleep, what you should do. Now, this man decided in his nature that he wants to go to school. He has taken a decision in his life, in his heart, or whatever you say. Because one of the nature that God created was to want to grow. So I want to acquire knowledge. I want to go to school. I want to acquire knowledge. That's to say that this is school here. This is the man here. He will need to go from here to here. That means he will need a leg. Something to move. Leg. He will need to carry, what do you call it? He will need to carry maybe books. So he needs his hand to lift the books. Hands. He will need eyes to see, to be able to go to where he's going to. He will need brain to be able to understand, to be able to think, imagine, think, and all of that. Now, he will even need some other things like understanding. He needs to understand what is being taught for him to be able to acquire that knowledge. He will need wisdom when he wants to use it rightly. And so many other things this man will require. Now, the resources that this man will require is what I will call tangible and intangible resources. That this man, this is life now. I want to teach us how God created things. These are the resources that we need to be able to do what is in his heart, or to be able to express his nature. To be able to express his nature, to prosecute life, we need all of this. Now, this one, we have to move, so you have to be physical. So we have both tangible resources and intangible resources. We have tangible resources, intangible resources, for him to be able to express his personality, his character. For instance, he's angry. He wants to eat somebody. He's the one that is giving to. He will need the hand to eat somebody. So the tangible are the one that can be seen. The intangible resources are the one that cannot be seen. Now, let's see how God now sort out that in 1 Corinthians chapter 15. We're going to read from 35 to 40. Please follow me. We're getting somewhere. 35 to 40. But some man will say, how are dead raised up? And with what body do they come with? Thou fool. That is, he say, there is somebody who's not alive now. How is there is, I want to bring them to life. That is, we are talking about life now. That means to have a life, it is a body to be able to come up. He say, what body did they come up? They will need a body. He say, thou fool, that which thou sweat is not quaking except it dies. And that which thou swearest not that body that shall be. But bear grain, it may chance wheat, or it may chance be grain. But God giveth us a body that is please him, and to every sin his own body. So God decided he will give for this tangible, he will put it in body. This is the heart, this is the body that forms the tangible. Verse 39. All flesh is not the same flesh, but there is kind of flesh of man. That is, there is a body of man. If you go and read the other version, they'll tell you body of man. And flesh of beast, that of animal. Of fish, that of fish. Another man, that of birds. There are also celestial body, that of angels. And body terrestrial, that of human beings and things on earth. But the glory of the celestial is one, and the glory of the terrestrial is another. So, what God did is, after created life now, he now decided what kind of body, based on what instruction he has put here on how to behave, what will he need? He decided that, okay, it should have 2 legs, it should have 4 legs. He gave it a body. Let's put it this way. He gave it a body. He gave the heart, the human being heart now. He put it in a body with 2 legs. He concluded that what we need is 2 legs. This is human that God has formed, that put in a body. Now, that means you have, in a man now, you have the nature, or the heart, the life, or the nature inside, and you have the body outside, and still intangible resources that man will require to express his desires or his nature. Like, this intangible resources will include things like understanding, like I said, wisdom, like I said, strength to do something, like I said, honor. One man likes honor, we want to be praised. He desires in his nature to be praised. He desires in his nature to be honored. So understanding, wisdom, nature, riches. He needs money to be able to go to that school. Wealth, all of that thing, tangible things are what form another this thing apart from the earth. So man now is now made up of one. Let me put it this way. Let me explain here. A man or any creature is made up of 2 things. A man or any creature is made up of 2 things. One, the image, which you call either we call it the nature. I've said this nature is wrapped in his heart. Then it's made up of resources. I call it resources. That's my language anyway. Which I say one is intangible, which is all those ones. Okay, one is tangible, which is the body, and the intangible. So this is a makeup of man. Man is made up of image and resources. Resources will now include the body and other things, like I said, intangible one, like wisdom, like knowledge, like understanding, like riches, like wealth, like praises, like honor, will form the resources. Now, these resources is what they call glory. These resources is what the Bible calls glory. Now, let's continue in that passage we read in 1 Corinthians chapter 15. When verse 40, let's proceed further to 41. Even from that verse 40, let's start from 40. I say there are also celestial bodies and bodies celestial, but the glory of the celestial is one. So it's talking about body now. And in the body, he say, and the glory of the celestial is another. Thinking that there is a body, that body is part of the glory. Let's go further, you're going to see it. There is one glory of the sun, and another glory of the moon, and another glory of the star. For one star differeth from another in glory. So what made the difference now is the glory, which is the resources, which I said is the body and other intangible things. So one is different from the other. For instance, say man now. He said man. Let's say man is made up of image. He said, so the difference in men after they have the same nature is that they differ in glory. Not only in men, it's everything. He said one star different from other in glory. That means two things make up anything that God created: the image and what brings the difference, which is glory. Don't forget in the vegetation and crops, I told you also that the identity, like I said, beings, and the variety, which I talked about, glory. So human beings behave the same way. It's expected to behave the same way, to have the same human nature. That's what makes them human. That's the identity. But they have variations, they have differences in some things. That's what called glory. And the deep glory now is the tangible and intangible that I talked about. I think that is clear. So everything God created has his image, has his glory. The image is the identity, while the glory is what made the difference. So every star different from the other in glory. And that glory, I say, is made out of tangible and intangible. Like I said, he said everyone differ in glory. That's to say that where the variation comes in now, where the difference comes in everything God has created is in their glory, which is the body and those resources. So everything God has created, the identity might be the same, but they will have different level of glory. Like the one we read, he said every star different from the other in glory. Stars are star. The identity is that they are star, which is their image, which is determined by the nature and all of that. Why the one that makes the difference from one star to the other is the globe, which is the body type and the other resources. So for man, it's the body and the other resources that makes the difference. For instance, in the body, for instance, some people have brown hair. I said brown. Black, like us. And even the way it grows, it doesn't grow much. We have the white people own that is very long. We have the legs. Some people are tall, some people are short. Some people are fat, some people are thin. All of that. So difference. Some people are beautiful, some are not beautiful. All of that. Difference. What makes the difference is the body and the resources. But the one that is tangible there is called the body. The one that is tangible is also. So every man behind the same nature, the same image, but different in glory. I want to believe that is clear. We're getting somewhere. So when God created man now, let's go back to the scripture. Man was created in image and glory. Everything God created was made in what? In image, to have image and to have glory. Why the image is the identity, this is the nature that defines them. For instance, man, animal, birds, all of that. Why the glory is within the same identity, the differences. That's the glory. And I said, body is part of it, and the tangible resources that man needs to prosecute his nature, or anything that God has made to prosecute his nature, is part of the glory. Let's now see what the Bible says in the book of Genesis chapter 5, in the creation of man. 5, 1 and 3. This is the book of the generation of Adam. In the day that God created man, in the likeness of God made he him. He said, male and female created he them, and blessed them, and called their name Adam. And in that day when he created them. Verse 3. And Adam lived 130 years and begat his son, in his own likeness and his own image. Now, let's get that. He said in verse 1, he said man was created in the likeness and the image of God. He said in his image he created them. That's the image of God, likeness and image of God. He also said that when Adam began to give birth to children, he said he began to bring forth in his own, not God now. In his own, that's manhood now. This is God's own. Man was created in God's image. He still came here to say Adam began to bring forth in the man's image and likeness. Now let me explain that before I go further to what I want to do. Please, we are getting somewhere. We are trying to get to somewhere. One big problem that is happening in Christianity is what I'm trying to solve with this teaching. So now, if you read Genesis chapter 1, verse 26, you say, yeah, where the Bible says, let us make man in our image. Now, don't forget I said, when God wanted to create life, when they wanted to create things that have like organisms or any living thing, he created life. On earth, for instance, he created one life. He called it man. He created another life. He called it that of birds. He created another life. He called it that of fish. He created another life. They call it that of animal. I think I said that earlier. These are all the lives he created. Now he is saying in Genesis chapter 1, let's read it. In his preparation stage, we have done that teaching before. When God was making preparation for creation, he had all of this planned out in his mind. Don't forget, when you want to do something, you're going to plan that thing in your mind before you now execute it. It's only when you plan in your mind, you can say that thing is adapting to what you wanted it to be or not. If that thing, when the Bible says, and God looked at it, say it was good, that means what I planned in my heart is what I saw. That's meaning it was good. Meaning that God already had planned in his heart before bringing for anything. Even when you want to create something, for instance, when they are creating vehicle, they will have the prototype, they have the design before they start creation. You don't just start putting things together. So the same way, before God did anything, he had everything in his mind. So in the mind of God, God created a life, man, bird, fish, animal. This is the stage of creation. Now after creating this life now, God needed one of them to pretend over others. He needed one of them now to be able to do the work of superintending over others and to be able to take care of the art of the art. So he needed to give this one man more intelligence and so many other things. Let's now go to Genesis chapter 1 verse 26. You get what I'm trying to say. Genesis 1:26. And God said, God is saying now, he said, let us make man in our image and our likeness. Let us make man in our image and likeness. Man has been made in God's mind, in man's image and likeness. God made man already in his image and likeness. He makes birds in their own image and their own likeness. I've explained all of that earlier. He made this one in their own image, in their own likeness. He made animal in their own image too, in their own likeness. This is what God done. So at a point now, when he now decided, okay, once you take care of others, once you do that for me, which one will be able to do that? Let me select man. He said, let us make man. That is, all these others that were planned, they have their own image and likeness already. Let me now make man. Let me alter the configuration, the nature of man to carry my image and my likeness. So let's make man in our image and likeness. That is, in addition to the image of man and likeness of man, let man carry another one called image and likeness. And I told you image and likeness means life of that thing. That is, let them carry my life, my nature, my glory. Look, I'll go to explain it. But let them carry my likeness apart from the man. Now, when man now sinned, okay, let me put it this way again. Now, this is the soul. This is the spirit, which I've explained earlier. This is the body. The life of man is here. So the man was made in image and likeness here, while the life of God is here. That's what it meant. Let me now put myself inside man in his spirit, so that man is made in the image and likeness of God. So man was carrying two kinds of life. His own life made in the image and likeness, then God's life made in the image and likeness of God. When Adam sinned, he lost the life of God. I think that is Christ. He said, you will die the day you sin. That is, you are going to separate it from me. So the life of God here disappeared. Man was left in his image and likeness. So that's what that Genesis chapter 5 is saying, that Adam began to bring forth in his own image and likeness. Why? Because the image and likeness of God had already gone when he died. I think that is clear. The image that, so from the day of Adam now, every man that is born into this world comes in the image of man and likeness of man. If Adam had not fallen, would have become in the image of man, likeness of man, image of God, likeness of God. When we are not saved, that will revert back to that. The life of God will come back. We will now have two kinds of life: the life of God, the life of man. I don't want to go into that because that's not actually our emphasis. Now I'm trying to make a point here. So man was created in the image and likeness, in image and likeness. I've explained image to mean the nature or the identity, which is the nature of the life. Now what is likeness? Let's go to likeness. Don't forget, say man was created in the image of God and likeness of God. We're going to see the meaning of likeness now. When they say God, man was created in the image and likeness. What is likeness? What is likeness? Let's see Hebrew chapter 1. We're going to read verse 1 to 3. God, who has sundry times and in diverse manners spake in time past unto our fathers by the prophet, hath in these last days spoken unto us by his Son, who he hath appointed heir of all things, by whom also he made the world. Now, follow verse 3, which is important. He said, who being the brightness of his glory, whose glory? Of God's glory. He said, Jesus, the brightness of his glory, an express image of his person. That is, Jesus was made in God's glory and image. So, they say Adam, before he fell. Don't forget, they say Jesus is second Adam. Adam, before he fell, has the image and likeness of man, and has the image and likeness of God. But he sinned and lost this one, likeness of God. Now, they say the second Adam, giving us the understanding of what they mean by image and likeness. He say the second Adam, which is Jesus, came, if you read that place, in the, he say, express image of his person. He say, and brightness of his glory. Glory. Here, he said Adam was made image and likeness. Here, he said the second Adam is image and glory. That means this one cancel this one. That means likeness is a cut of glory. Let's end that passage. 1 Corinthians chapter 11. 1 Corinthians 11:7. Let's see. He said, for a man indeed ought not to cover his head, for as much as he is the image and glory of God. He said, man is the image and glory of God. 2 Corinthians 2 is saying that, 1 Corinthians that where I say, man is the image and glory of God. Image cancel image, glory, likeness. So you see this one still confirming it that likeness means glory. Now let's say another third one. 2 Corinthians 3 verse 18 says, but we all with open face beholding as a glass the glory of the Lord are changed into the same image. The same image. Don't forget what I told you. The image is only the same. That's the identity that makes us human. That contains an image. He said the same image. That place that we are reading says the same image. That the image is constant. Nature is constant. Man is man. Woman is animal is animal. He said, let me read again. He said, be we all with open face, beholding as in the glass the glory of the Lord, are changed. We are changing now into the same image, from glory to glory, from one level of glory to another level. That is, there is difference in glory. So he said again, glory, that we are becoming like God. Image cancel image, likeness is glory. And this image is constant and makes a woman. Glory varies, which I told you earlier in what I was teaching, that man is made up of image and glory. And I told you the glory is the body and other resources, while the image is our identity, our nature, our life, all of that. Now, I haven't said that about man. Now, I haven't said that about man. Let's now bring it out succinctly. In that last one we read, it said the same image. You realize again that it will tell you that you should be conformed to the image of the Lord in book of Romans chapter 8 from verse 29 thereabout. So that's to say that man is made up of image and glory. We say the glory is our identity that makes us human. That's our nature. And we have read that it's the same for all human, no difference. Human being, the time we should sleep, if you don't carry the same nature with us, then you are not human. That's our identity. But we say the glory is changing, which is even common sense. The body. Some are tall, some are black, some are white, some are like that. And other things like, we say other things like understanding. Other things like, we say knowledge. Other things like wisdom. Other things like strength. There are resources to express this nature now. Other things like riches, you need riches or wealth, as the case may be. What again do we need? We need honor. Man wants to be honored. He wants to be praised. He wants to be praised. He wants to be blessed. And so many other things, as much as you can remember. So this one make up a man. This is constant A to every human being. But this one varies. Black, green. You know, the problem we have with the white people is because they say we are black. The difference in color. So hair is different. Our hair type is different. Hair type, color, beauty, In fact, when you read Bible, you see so many places where it's okay, talk about glory. When somebody is beautiful, they say glory, color, everything, honor, they say glory, power, they will say glory. So you see so many, but I don't want to go into that. You see so many examples in the Bible where they talk about glory, they use it to represent any of these ones. Now, this is how human being was created. This is constant, which is our identity. But the glory is different from person to person. So, a man is measured. The success of a man, which is where I'm going now, and I want you to listen. The success of man is not measured by his image, because it's not measured by his glory. Why? Because the glory they give you might be different from mine. I've told you they're different. I might be tall, and you are short. I might be black, and you are white, and that person is colored. I might have quick understanding of all things. You might not have. You might have more knowledge than me. You might be wiser. I'm less wise. Strength. Yes, somebody will say you can acquire some of these things. No matter how you try. Why have you not acquired so much and be like Elon Musk? So what am I saying? Why this is constant for everybody? This is God designed the way He has given it to us, as human beings, that we should have all of this. That sometimes, no matter how you study, there's a limit to understanding you can have. Some people, then no matter how they study, they won't understand much. Some people, the knowledge they have, okay, you can acquire this by yourself. Wisdom. Your understanding will determine your level of wisdom. So sometimes the kind of life that God has given to you. I'm going to read to Daniel for you, where God helped Daniel. He said He gave him more understanding than others. Meaning that understanding differ. Let's read that place. Let's read that place. Daniel chapter 1. He said, verse 17, as for these 4 children, I don't want to go to preceding something. You know, they fasted, Shadrach, Meshach, Abednego, and Daniel. And God helped them. What did He help them with? He said, and for these 4 children, God gave them knowledge, you see. He gave them knowledge, meaning that knowledge is in level. Knowledge is in level. He gave them more knowledge than normal human being. And skill in all learning. That means ability to learn, to be comprehending. It differs from person to person. In all learning and wisdom. That means all this is different from person to person because He gave them more than other people. And Daniel had understanding of vision and dream. Even among these 4, Daniel still have understanding and the thing others don't have. So you see that these are not the same. Where are we going? Where we're going is that what is common to man is the image, which is the nature. This is not common to man. Therefore, man is weighed, your success is weighed, or your personality is weighed by your image, not glory, because it's not a level playing ground if we weigh man by all of this. If we measure me by my height, which I couldn't decide, that would be wrong. Or by my color, which I didn't tell God I want to be a black man. Or by my beauty, I didn't tell God I want to be ugly. Or understanding, I would have loved to have more understanding than I have. I would have loved to be wiser than I have. I would have loved to have more strength so that I can fight like Tyson. I would love to acquire, no matter how, there's a level to riches. You can't be as rich as Elon Musk. Don't deceive yourself. So where are we going is that human being success. Human being is rated based on the ability to express the correct nature of man. It is not rated based on these things that are variables among men. So when we talk about honoring men, we don't honor men because of their achievement. We don't honor men because of their successes. We honor men because they are human. Because they possess the human nature in them. That's what calls for honor. If we honor people based on these variables, that may will be unjust because it does not give it to us equally. The only thing that's given to us equally is the nature of man that makes us man. Africans need to understand this. That we don't look at people and think they are more man or more woman than the other just because they have more money, or just because they are wiser, or just because they are better built, or just because they are richer, or just because they are stronger or more knowledge. No. Human beings are not honored based on this. We are honored based on what is common to all of us, which is our image. And the people in the Western world have understood that honor is based on who we are, our image. So that the place where I was working before, even me and the director will queue up to collect food. Even me and the director, we go to the same canteen, we eat in the same place. He will serve himself, I will serve myself. Why? He's a human being, I'm a human being. That the director does not make him a higher human being than I am. His honor is that he's a human being. My honor is that I'm a human being. So if you go to a place like banks you see in Africa, if you are to queue, we should queue up. Man should not be treated based on his achievement in life. Now, let's see so many Bible passages and what God himself has taught us. Okay, before I go into that, I say, why did God make it so that some people will have more than the other? Why did God make it so that some people have more than the other? 1 Corinthians chapter 4, verse 7. Yes. For who made thee to differ from another? That is, who have made thee that you are wiser than me? Or that who have made thee that are more intelligent than you? He said, and what hast thou had that thou did not receive? Now, if thou did receive it, why dost thou glory? That is, why are you proud? You see what I told you about glory now? That's the variables, Why do you glory? And if thou hast not received it, as if you have not received it. He said, who made you better? Now, somebody will say, oh, I went to school. I went to school. That's why I'm who I am. Now, when God created us like that, I told you, he decided a lot of things by himself. He decided some of these things, the limit of what we have. He decided that this is the kind of body, the body human being should carry. He decided the talent they will give to you, the potentials is going to give to you even before you were created. What we do is to work towards achieving the fullness of that potential is what we do as human. It has been decided how much of wisdom we can achieve, how much of strength, how much of riches, how much of that. Our work on earth is that we are trying to be the best of ourselves. That's what we're doing. So if you claim it's because you read so hard, that's why you have more understanding than me, it's because it has been given to you that level of understanding. You have just worked towards achieving the best of yourself. And that person best of himself might not be able to attain your level, even if you put the same resources like you're putting. No matter how I study, no matter how I read, I cannot be intelligent like Elon Musk. So we're trying to say, you will see some people working equally and yet different results. Don't forget, the Bible even said that when the seed fall on the soil, it says some brought for 30-fold, 60-fold, 100-fold. Who decided which one will bring 30, which one will bring 60, which one will bring 100? Because if you read that passage, it talked about the ground, meaning that the same ground and yet different results. This is where God comes in. And that's where human beings must be rated based on the fact that they are human, not their results. We're not trying to call for what they call it, mediocrity or laziness or thereabout. We're trying to say that human beings must be rated based on their image and not on water. Let's read another passage in Isaiah, why God made it so. That is to bring beauty. Isaiah 11, 1-9. Very quickly. And there shall come forth a rod out of the stem of Jesse, and branch shall grow out of his roots. And the Spirit of the Lord shall rest upon him, the Spirit of wisdom and understanding, the Spirit of counsel and might, the Spirit of knowledge and of fear of the Lord. And shall make him of quick understanding in the fear of the Lord. You see, somebody will have quick understanding. We're talking about Jesus. And he shall not judge after the sight of his eyes, neither reprove after the hearing of his ear. But with righteousness shall he judge the poor, and reprove with equity the meek of the earth. And he shall smite the earth with the rod of his mouth, and the breath of his lips shall he slay the wicked. And righteous shall be the girdle of his loins, and faithful the girdle of his reins. And wolf, now this is where I want you to start taking this thing from. And the wolf also shall dwell with the lamb. See, the wolf and the lamb will dwell together. And the lamb shall lie down with the kid, and the calf and the young lion and the fattened together, and the little shall lead them. You see? And the cow and the bear shall feed, their young one shall lie down together, and the lion shall eat straw like us. And the sucking child shall play on the hole of the ass, and the weaned child shall put him hand on the cockatrice den. You see, to bring beauty, that the small and the big, the rich, the poor, the mighty and the small, everybody playing together. I see there is no difference. God loves that. That's what God wants. That's what brings beauty to him. And even when you have variety, you know that variety brings beauty. Just imagine if the whole world is made up of one just item, And there's no difference. Everything is the same. All human beings were the same. Nobody is taller than the other. Nobody is shorter than the other. Nobody is more beautiful than the other. They won't appreciate beauty. Even the garden, the Bible says God planted all sorts of food that were pleasant to the eyes. Why? Beauty. God loves beauty. Even human beings will like beauty. When you go to a place, you see something, everything is the same. It will not be colorful like when you see some this, some that, some this, some that. So God created us so to bring beauty to the surface of the earth, to bring glory to the surface of the earth. We're going to go further and see some of the other reasons why God actually did that. Now, how are we supposed to relate as human beings? No certification. Like I said, man should not be measured according to his achievement and accomplishment. 1 Peter 2:17. I'm going to read some of this. 1 Peter 2, verse 17. Honor all men, and the brother who fear God, honor the king. Honor all men. It doesn't matter if that man is not as intelligent as you. It doesn't matter if that man is not as rich as you. It doesn't matter if that man is shorter than you. It doesn't matter if that man is black and you are white. It doesn't matter if that man is white and you are black. Honor all men. That's what the Bible says. Every human being deserves honor. Even it doesn't matter if that person was not properly formed. Like people who have an issue with their developmental ability. Those who are disabled. Those who are impaired. As long as this person was supposed to be formed as a human being, they deserve honor. And that's why you go to the Western world, you see the places where they take care of people who are disabled. They treat them as human. No difference. In fact, that's why I work. Because they are human. Our differences does not matter. What matters is the fact that we are human. Because that's what is common to all. That's the common denominator. Let's read another passage. James 2, 1-4. My brethren, have not the faith of our Lord Jesus Christ, the Lord of glory, with respect of persons. For if there come unto your assembly a man with gold ring, in goodly apparel, and there come in also a poor man in vile raiment, and ye have respect to him that weareth the gay clothing, and say unto him, sit thou here in a good place, and say to the poor, stand thou there, or sit here under my foothold. Are ye not then partial in yourself, and become judges of evil thoughts? He says it's evil thought to be partial. It's evil thought to treat another man more honorable than the other. Nobody should be treated more honorably than another person. Well, I know some people will say, honor the king. Maybe the day I look at honor, we understand the meaning of honor. Because honor sometimes means obey. For instance, I am the leader of a group. If you guys don't obey me, there's going to be chaos. So for orderliness, you have to honor me. Honor in that place doesn't mean that you should subject yourself less human than me, but it's saying that you should respect me. You should give me the last say. That's what he's saying. So some of the things we convert to honor, that we call honor, that we should honor people because of the achievement. What Bible is saying is that let that person have the final say because he's your leader. Let us obey that person because he's your boss. That's the respect he's saying. Let's go further. Let's see Philippians. I love this passage. Philemon, verse 10-17. Philemon, 10-17. I was asking God a question recently in my heart that why did he permit slavery in New Testament? Because it gave me understanding of why he permitted slavery in Old Testament, which I've taught. But I was wondering if what I thought was correct, why did he still permit slavery in New Testament? Let's read it. I beseech thee for my son Onesimus, who are begotten in my bond. Onesimus was a slave to Philemon. So let's hear what Paul said concerning Onesimus and the master. What's his name? Philemon. Which in time past was to thee unprofitable, but now profitable to thee and to me, whom I have sent again, thou therefore receiving, that is my own Boaz, whom I would have retained with me, that in thy stead he might have ministered unto me in the bonds of the gospel. Without thy mind will I do nothing, that thy benefit should not be as it were of necessity, but willingly. For perhaps he therefore departed for a season, The man ran away from his master. So he said he departed for a season, but thou shouldest receive him forever. He said receive him back. So one will wonder, why were Paul encouraging slavery? Now don't forget that slavery, people used to buy them with their money. It was human will that time. And somebody you have bought now, you have right to that person. It's like I've employed you to come and work for me. So if you are scorned and you have collected money up front, then you are doing something wrong. You have collected money up front. That means you should work for me. I hire you to come and sweep in my house. You collected money, you don't come. That would be wrong. So that's what Paul is trying to say. You belong to that man because you were a slave. He paid for it. But he is now telling Paul. Paul is now saying something more than that. Why did he cancel slavery? What I want to tell you now. Verse 16. Not now as a servant. You see? He said, don't receive him back as a slave that he was before. But above a servant, you see? But a beloved brother. So Paul was not encouraging slavery, but he was trying to say that because you are paid for him, I can't just say release him. But this time around, treat him like your employee. The same way we treat employee now. He said treat him like a human being, like a brethren, like a brother, not like a slave, like an employee. So when Paul was talking, he was talking and saying, take him back as an employee. Just the same way we employ people to work for us today, not as a slave. Let's go further. Specifically to me, but now how much more unto thee, but in the flesh and in the Lord. If thou count me therefore a partner, receive him as myself. Say, receive a human being like me, not as a slave. Paul was not a slave. So he said, receive him like somebody who's working for you, not as a slave. If he had wronged you or owed thee anything, put that on my account because he ran away. I, Paul, have written with my own hand, I will repay you. I bet I do not say to thee how much more thou owe unto me for their own sake. You see, it's clear. So what Paul is saying is, go back because this man paid for the service, but this time around, the service will not be the service of a servant, but the service of a human being like an employee under you. Treat him so. So Paul is saying that every human being must be treated as a human being, not as a slave. So your status, regardless, human being is human being, we're the same. Let me not waste too much time because there are so many other passages I want us to read. Because I want us to check even Jesus our Lord himself. Now, 1 Peter chapter 5 verse 5. I want to read the not passages. 1 Peter 5:5. 1 Peter says, likewise, ye younger, submit yourself unto the elder. You see? He says, submit yourself to the elder. That is, obey them. That's meaning of submit yourself that is saying there. Yeah, all you be subject one to another. Don't look down on anybody because you are older. Even though the younger ones should respect the older ones, but the older, don't look down on them. But because you are older, they should give you regard of being older. And be clothed with humility. For God resisted the proud and give grace to the humble. Let's see also Romans 12:16. I want us to read and not pass it because this is a problem in Africa where we don't look down on people. We take care of people based on their achievement, and that's why there's corruption in society. In a situation where women being assaulted because of what they have achieved, then people will steal, people will be corrupt because everybody wants to be honored, everybody wants to be praised. So if what it takes for me to be praised, for me to be honored, is to have money, then when I'm in one office, I will steal. When I'm in one office, I will take what does not belong to me because I want to be honored. That is human for you, especially the fallen man who is not born again, and some born again who don't know they are yet in Christ. Now, Romans 12:16. Be of the same mind one towards another. Mind not the high thing, but condescend to men of low estate. Be not wise in your own eyes. My brother told me he read a book, what do they call that book? I've forgotten the title. Talking about pilgrim, whatever. Talking about how the old people, how the first church, how they related in those days. He told me, said, one thing that used to inspire people in them was that nobody knew the rich and the poor among them. They behaved the same way as if there was no difference. So condescend to people of low estate. Don't say they should give you special seat. We have read it in that place. Don't come late and they have a seat reserved for you in church, like we see in so many churches, where they honor people, they say they call the covenant partner. So a special seat reserved for them. I remember there was a church I went to one time. I joined that. I wanted to go into that church, and people have been there in that campground, and I came late for one reason or the other. And this, my friend, I just met him, one officer in the army there, who had money. So he was one of the covenant partner. While people were sitting who had been there since morning, me and him walked there and went and sat in the front. Just because the man had money. So he has been in his house. People who have been there 10 hours earlier, they didn't get seat, but we sat in the front. Okay, I think we are ready enough. We know about Jesus. Why did they need Peter in the days of Jesus? It's because between the people, they couldn't differentiate Jesus. There was no special seat for him. There was no clothes that Jesus was wearing that make him stand out among that made him to stand out among the disciples. Nothing special about Jesus. So they needed somebody to say, this is Jesus among them. But today, if you want to go to any of our churches, you don't need anybody to point the leader of that church to you. You will see him in a special seat, then they'll put rug where he's sitting. You don't need anybody, just go in there, you'll find him. There wouldn't have been any need for Judas if it were our time. So Jesus himself showed practical example that human beings should not be honored, should not be treated based on their achievement or their position in life, but that they are human. In fact, I wrote something that said, someone said, and I love that. It says success is end, but it is more giving than end. Yeah, you work for success, that's the truth. But the truth is sometimes it is your potential that you're just trying to attain. The fullness of your potential. That's what you're working towards. Like me now, whatever I'm doing, if I was surprised, although I'm not teaching about Christianity now, I'm talking about humanity in general is what I'm teaching here. When I was coming to America, and I was like, God, what? Okay, my friend was the one we were praying together, and I asked him. And he said, that's how I designed it, that you be in America now. So many things have been written concerning us. And God has written it that some will be great, some will not be great. Some will have more wisdom than the other. Some will be richer than the other. He has made it so to bring beauty. And not only beauty, to bring functionality to this earth. How do I mean? All of us cannot be great. If every one of us is great, who will do the, what do you call it? Is it the middle class job? Who will do the, what do you call it, the other one? The lower the lower kada. Who will do that job? Who will be the driver if all of us is rich? That means the earth will not run if all of us are equally endowed. Because somebody needs to be the driver. Now, don't look at it, if you are in Africa and you are listening to me, don't look at it with the eye of the driver of Africa. Look at it with the eye of the driver of a place like US, where a driver is honored, a driver drives good car here, yet is a driver. A cleaner drives good car in America, yet is a cleaner. It is the understanding of that will make you know that every society must reward people appropriately for the fact that they are women. You are subjecting people to what do you call it? You are making people to be less of women when you don't pay them well. Because they cannot afford what makes for a correct humanity. Okay, let's go further because of my time. I said some of the things we teach in our churches where they say, you say honor people's, I used to hear one of the great ones in Nigeria, he will say honor people's sacrifice. So because you are better than me now, they should give you better seat. Because you are better than me now, they should not listen to me, it's you every time. So you sit down in your house and watching TV and doing something and that about and enjoying yourself, and you now come after me into the same place that I've been 5 hours earlier, you sit in on a better distance than me. That would be wrong. That's not Christianity. So the West have understood this. Like I said, when you go there, you see people queuing up. I experienced that in my place of work. They treat people cautiously and humanely for the fact that they are human. And again, because the white people didn't understand this, or they don't understand this, that's why they feel they are better than the black people. Because they are white, we are black. If they understand it now, they will know that God has made it that some people will be better than the other in wisdom and intelligence. That's how God has made it. But God has made provision for everybody to be okay. Only that those people will have more. That's what I'm saying. That doesn't mean that God has made it that you should be nobody. No. He has made it so that everybody will be somebody, But among the somebody, some people will be better than the other. If the white people know this, they will not discriminate based on race. No preferential treatment. There's a passage, but because of time, I will not read the passage. Equality before law, before everything. Sharing and access to resources, especially basic necessities. If you see us, all of us to be the same human being, basic necessities should be shared for every human being. In Nigeria, you have what they call band A, band B, band C for access to electricity. And now electricity is a basic necessity for human being. And you are now stratifying it that some people should have band A, band C, but just because they have more money. Now, why will I not steal to enjoy band A? Or you think I don't want light? I want light. And since I can't get light because of my position, and I have a position of influence that can steal money to get that kind of light, I will steal. So we're encouraging corruption by some of the things we do. How can you stratify basic necessities? When you come to place to America here, no matter how rich you are, or no matter how poor you are, your children will go to good schools. Although there are schools that might be better, that might be higher in standard, but at least what is required of somebody to say this person is well educated, everybody has access to it. Everybody has access to light. Basic necessities, every woman should have access to it. Why? Because they are women. Now, consequences of not understanding this thing that I said. Like I said, one of the consequences you see between the white man and the black man, there is racism. Even among tribes, they look down on some people. There's going to be rivalry. There's going to be animosity, jealousy. There's going to be envy. There's going to be frustration. There's going to be discontent, vulnerability. There's going to be bitterness. I see so much of that in America between the black and the white people. The black people have not forgiven them for what they did to our forefathers. In that, there's a place I work so much among them. You see that bitterness. Why? What the white people did because they felt we're not complete women. I'm not encouraging bitterness. In fact, they have to get rid of that if they must move forward. I'm just trying to say that because of what they did, certification now based on race, now they brought bitterness. You see contention everywhere based on race. Now, it will encourage dishonesty and corruption. I've said that. Like Band A, Band C in Nigeria. I want to be honored. I want to be praised too. I want to be seen as a complete human being. And I'm not being seen as a complete human being because I don't have money, because I don't have resources. And I'm in a place to steal resources, to steal money. I will steal so that I can be honored. Pride. You see, pride is on people. Arrogance. Some people go to the same school together because they are better. They can't tell to their mates again because they have made money. They look down on others. They treat people as if they are not human, as if they are less human. They diminish people with the way they treat them. Why? Because of achievement. Because we honor people based on achievement. Like I said earlier, if all of us are equally great, 1 Corinthians 12, we're going to read from verse 14 to 17 very quickly. Okay, let me just make this quick disclaimer as I round up. I said this is not a call to mediocrity, but to order and peaceful coexistence. If you read Matthew chapter 25, you're going to see that there. So, God is going to judge us in Matthew chapter 25. The Bible says he gave them talents. And the one that gave 5 to expected 5 for him. The one he gave 3 to expected 3 for him. The one he gave 1 to expected something for him too. So, God has given us potential. As he releases us into this world, he expects you to live to the fullness of that. If you don't live to the fullness of that, God is going to judge you on the last day. But on earth here, we are not supposed to stratify, or we're not supposed to have levels in the way we treat others. So you must to work to be the best of yourself. Because with human being and treated equally doesn't mean you should not be the best of yourself. It doesn't mean that we should not understand when some people are doing better than the others. But what I was saying is that we should not honor people based on who they are. Then, envy no one. Be your best, envy no one. Move at your pace. Because we're not giving the same level of glory, like I said. So the glory of one person might be there from the other. So don't envy anybody because he's doing better than you. Then if it's doing faster than you are, don't be in a hurry. You might even catch up later. Your own might be slow and steady. Why his home might be. I say, exert and tap to all your potential. Philippians chapter 3, Paul said, he said, I press further onto the mark of higher calling. Paul knew that something was deposited in him at birth. He knew that God expected more of him. He walked towards it. He walked towards it. He walked towards it. So every human being must walk towards to fulfill the total potential that God has put in us. But that doesn't mean that the potential in one person is the same with another person. That's what we're trying to say. Then in conclusion, Galatians 6, we're going to read 3 and 4. For if a man think himself to be something, that is, if you are successful in life, if you are done well in life, when he is nothing, he deceives himself. Now, what should be your reward for your success? That's what this place is saying. Verse 4. But let every man prove his own work, and then shall he have rejoicing in himself alone, and not in another. So the basis of honor is that we are human. But if you are doing well and doing better than me, be happy within yourself. Feel good that you fulfill all your potential. Feel good that you are doing well. But not to come and say because you are doing well, they should give you more honor than they are giving to me. Or not because I'm doing well, they should give me more honor than they are giving to you. Let it be that I am successful and I'm happy that I'm successful. Let me enjoy my wealth. He said you should be happy in himself. Enjoy your wealth. Enjoy your position. But when it comes to things of treatment of human being, when it comes into honor, you must be treated the same way and equally. On that note, I want to draw the curtain. Thank you and God bless.